A delightful evening to you. Welcome to the World Now at 4. I am Udwak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. And on the headlines, EFCC recovers 30 billion naira from suspended accountant general. Still on the headlines, doctors, drugs, even bandages lacking in remote Niger clinics. And also on the headlines, at least 4 people dead after boat capsizes in English Channel. And on sports, Kane Williamson steps down as New Zealand's captain. Screening of Loretta Noche, 14 others ongoing. Also on the headlines. And now the news in detail. The President Muhammadu Buhari has screened for the position of chairman of the Niger Delta Development Commission, that is the NDDC, and 14 others nominees for the board is presently ongoing, with Loretta Onochie one of them. The screening is reportedly being presided by the vice chairman of the Senate Committee on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Bulus Amos, APC Gombe South, following the absence of the chairman, Senator Nwaboshi, APC Delta North. The screening is being handled by both the SC6 and the House of Representatives Committee on Niger Delta Affairs and that of NDDC. In his opening remarks, the presiding chairman, Senator Amos, said that the NDDC has been there for a very long time without a board, and this has been affecting the interventionist agency. Recall that the Senate leader, Senator Ibrahim Gobir, APC Sokoto East, had on Tuesday read the executive communication from President Buhari that the upper chamber do consider the request on the confirmation for the appointment as chairman and members of the Niger Delta Development Commission, that is the NDDC, in accordance with the provisions of Section 2, Subsection 2A of the Niger Delta Development Commission Establishment Act, CAP AN 86 LFN. Still in the news, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, that is the EFCC, on Thursday said it had so far recovered over 30 billion naira from the corruption activities surrounding the suspended Accountant General of the Federation, AGF Idris Ahmed. Chairman of the Commission, Abdul Rashid Bawa, stated this at the media briefing organized by the Presidential Communications Team at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Recall that the Commission is currently persecuting the embattled AGF over alleged 109 billion naira frauds. He also revealed that over 3,615 convictions were recorded within the period, affirming that the administration is serious about its anti-corruption program. He announced that the nationwide auction of forfeited automobiles will be followed by the disposal of over 150 houses to interested buyers. Bauer assured that by the time the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, that is the SCMUL, becomes fully operational, it will be difficult for money to be laundered in the country. The federal government of Nigeria has opened the second Niger Bridge to vehicular movements. Newsmen gathered that the bridge was opened at exactly 9:50 a.m. on Thursday, December 15, 2022, being today. According to a government official who spoke on the development, the bridge opened following some little adjustment on the road linking the bridge. Recall that the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola San, last Thursday disclosed that the second Niger Bridge would open to traffic from December 15, 2022 to January 15, 2023 in order to ease the experience of travelers during the Yuletide season and break. The 1.6 kilometers long bridge links Anambra and Delta states. In August 2012, the Federal Executive Council, that is FEC, under the then President Goodluck Jonathan, approved a contract worth 325 million naira for the final planning and design of the bridge. The bridge and project continued under President Muhammadu Buhari, who had first cancelled the earlier contract in August 2015 to resume the contract on September 1, 2018. Also in the news, Justice Ibrahim Yusuf of Kwara State High Court has sentenced 3 persons to death by hanging over the rape and murder of a 300-level undergraduate of the University of Ilorin, that is Uni Ilorin, Omowumi Olajide. According to the report, Olajide was raped and murdered at her Tanke residence around the University of Ilorin on June 2, 2021. 8 suspects, including accomplices, were arrested by operatives of the Department of State Services, that is the DSS, in connection with the crime. Abdulaziz Ismail, Moses Oluwatimileyin, and Oyeyemi Omobolahon and are the major suspects accused of raping and murdering Olajide. The trios, alongside 2 others, were also accused of stealing her property and withdrawing money from her account. Delivering his judgment, Justice Ibrahim Yusuf found them guilty of rape, robbery, and culpable homicide, and immediately sentenced them to death by hanging. Head of the Prosecution Council, Salman Jawando, commented on the court's proceedings.
The first, second, and third defender, who are the main culprits, were found guilty of culpable homicide, punishable with death, conspiracy to commit robbery, and conspiracy to murder. So they were accordingly sentenced. Because it's maximum, there is no discretion for the court to exercise by virtue of provision of the Armed Robbery Act.
You're still watching The World Now at 4. Let's go on a short break. When we return, it's all with news from other parts of Africa. Don't go away. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. It is The World Now at 4 on Hills TV, and talking more stories in Solo Feta, a village in the remote Air Mountains of the northern Niger. Healthcare comes in the form of a building that is all but empty, manned by a nurse, lacking equipment, drugs, and even bandages. Asked what's on her wish list for a tiny clinic, a nurse, Chimadine Tafa, starts to reel off a long string of items but doesn't reach the end, for another patient has come in seeking for help. Tafa's facility amounts to a 2-room concrete-walled structure with a barbed wire enclosure to keep out camels and goats. One room is used for examining patients, the other is the storeroom containing perhaps half a dozen boxes of supplies. Niger, a huge former French colony in the heart of the arid Sahel, is the poorest country in the world, according to the Human Development Index. Solofeta comprises around 100 inhabitants living in around 15 mud brick homes and lies about 7 kilometers, 4 miles from Iferene, where there is a bigger health center. The head doctor in Iferene, Aida Doda, one of 2 doctors in the area, said one of his biggest concerns was to get sick patients in a transport-worthy condition so that they could make the long trek to hospital. Niger has a mere 0.35 doctors per 10,000 people, according to the World Health Organization, that is the WHO. By comparison, the figure is in Sweden is 70 doctors per 10,000. And now away from that story, World Health Organization, that is the WHO, Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus had said his uncle was murdered by Eritrean troops in the Ethiopian region of Tigray, where a peace deal has been signed to end a bloody war. Tedros, a native of Tigray, revealed that at the end of a press conference with the United Nations Correspondents Association that he had been on the verge of cancelling the meeting because it was a difficult moment for him. He told reporters that more than 50 people in the same village were killed, hoping that the peace agreement will hold and that the fighting will stop. The fighting began in November 2020 when Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed sent the federal army to arrest leaders in the northern region who had been challenging his authority for months and whom he accused of attacking federal military bases. We now move to other parts of the world after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The World Now at 4 continues. The British government has said at least 4 people are dead after an incident involving a small boat in the English Channel between Britain and France. According to British media reports, dozens of people were rescued after a small boat capsized in the icy water off the British coast on Wednesday. British radio station reported that 43 people had been rescued, adding that the vessel reportedly sank while trying to cross the English Channel with at least 50 refugees and asylum seekers believed to be on board. Local fisherman Ben Squires explained that despite freezing temperatures, more than 500 asylum seekers have made the perilous journey in small boats since Sunday alone, with the people traffickers who organized the crossings taking advantage of low winds and calm seas.
A rigid inflatable boat with people on board, migrants, was crossing and was sinking very, very near to where he was fishing. So amazingly, he got right in next to the sinking boat and managed to come alongside and safely get 31 people on board.
Top government officials, including Suella Braverman and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, also commented on the tragedy.
It is not cruel or unkind to want to break the stranglehold of the criminal gangs who trade in human misery and who exploit our system and our laws.
I'm sure the whole House will share my sorrow at the capsizing of a small boat in the Channel in the early hours of this morning and the tragic loss of human life.
Ireland's defense minister said on Thursday that an Irish soldier was shot and killed on a UN peacekeeping mission in Lebanon, and a second was in a critical condition after a hostile crowd surrounded their armored vehicle. The soldiers, part of the United Nations Interim Forces in Lebanon, UNIFIL, were on what Simon Coveney, who is also Ireland's foreign minister, said was considered a standard run for UNIFIL's area of operations in South Lebanon to Beirut when the incident happened in Al-Kibir late on Wednesday. Hezbollah is a powerful armed group and a heavyweight political party with significant support in the country's south. UNIFIL has operated in Lebanon since 1978 to maintain peace along its border with Israel to the south. It was expanded after a UN resolution that halted the 2006 Israel-Hezbollah war in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah on Thursday offered its condolences and told reporters it was not involved. Senior Hezbollah official Wafik Safar said the soldier's death came after an unintentional incident that took place between the residents of Al-Aqib and individuals from the Irish unit, and urged the party not to be inserted into the incident. The UN Special Coordinator for Lebanon, Joanna Roneka, said a quick and thorough investigation to determine the facts of this tragic incident is crucial. Lebanon's caretaker, Premier Najib Mikati, urged all parties to show wisdom and patience. The Lebanese army offered its condolences but did not give additional details. Welcome back to the Business Desk on the World Now at 4. Chairman of the Seaports Terminal Operators Association of Nigeria, that is the STOAN, Princess Vicky Hastrup, has said the efficiency and other benefits brought about by Nigeria's ports concession exercise saved the economy over $1.6 billion in the last 16 years, which translates to a minimum of $100 million. Speaking at the 34th anniversary celebration of the Maritime Reporters Association of Nigeria, that is the MARAN in Lagos, with the theme 16 Years of Ports Concession, the Pains and Gains, Hastrup revealed that the exercise has been a huge success and brought tremendous improvements to the nation's port system. In the same vein, Hastrup listed the other benefits of ports concession to include injection of private capital into ports development, freeing up government resources for other developmental purposes, elimination of ports congestion, modernization of the ports, improved availability of cargo handling equipment, competition among terminal operators, improved welfare and training of port workers, and the institution of a condition of service for dock workers. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has signed the 2023 appropriation budget of approximately 260 billion naira into law. The brief signing ceremony was performed at the Governor's Lodge, Oka South local government area of the state. Speaking with journalists after the signing the bill into law, the governor appreciated the State House of Assembly for what he described as the expeditious passage of the budget.
What it prioritizes quite very key as major areas of focus and priority for Anambra State. You can see the 5 buckets of security, law and order, the bucket of economic transformation, of our social agenda, human capital development, the big fundamental priorities for us. And of course, transforming the way we work, the way government works, and finally the 5th major pillar, our environment.
And that's where we draw a close for business news. Still to come is sports. Don't go away.
Good evening and welcome to Sports News and World Now at 4. I am Ainan Lubem. Now to Sports News. Morocco has lit up this World Cup with an unexpected run to the semi-finals, where their hopes of a shock triumph were crushed by defending champions France. Walid Renagro's men had made history by becoming the first African and Arab nation to reach this stage of the competition, but ultimately they came up short. Theo Hernandez's goal after 5 minutes was the worst possible start for Morocco, and substitute Randal Kolo Muani added a second late as France set up a meeting with Argentina in Sunday's final. Morocco fans had taken over Sheikh Waqif in Doha earlier in the day. This is the melting pot of Qatar's capital city, where fans from all the competing nations engage, though a France shirt was a rare sight on this occasion. Moroccans had traveled in their numbers, and extra flights were laid on for the semi-final by national carrier Real Air Maroc. Some were being interviewed by various TV and radio stations from around the world. Others sipped a local Karak tea. The Al Bayt Stadium could have been mistaken for a home match in Casablanca. The small pocket of French fans behind the goal vastly outnumbered their counterparts in red shirts, waving their red flags. And now to cricket, where veteran Indian batter Cheteshwar Pujara has no regret about missing out on a sensational century in the ongoing first test match between KL Rahul-led Team India and Bangladesh at the Zahur Ahmed Chowdhury Stadium. Rescuing the Rohit Sharma-less Team India from a shocking batting collapse, senior batter Pujara stitched 2 crucial partnerships with Rishbha Plant and Shirish Iyer on day 1 of the Test Series opener in Chattogram. Batting on a score of 90 in the 85th over, Pujara was hoping to end his century drought in the final session of the opening day. However, Pujara was outfoxed by Taujil Islam, who bowled an absolute reaper to get the better of the informed batter. Speaking to reporters after the end of the day's play in the press conference, Pujara was pleased with his performance as the star batter played a crucial knock for the visitors on a difficult track.
Yeah, I mean, look, the way I was batting and looking at the pitch, it's not an easy pitch to bat on. So I'm really happy with the way I batted today. Sometimes we just try and pay attention to 3-figure mark, but the most important thing when you play this sport is try and put team in a situation where, you know, we have chance of winning this game. So this pitch looks like there will be a result. and we needed some runs on the board. So I think my partnership with Shreyas was very important, and also with Rishabh. I think once we lost first 3 wickets, there was a time where we had to build the partnership and put up a decent total. So I'm really happy with the way I batted today. I'm not too worried about not getting the 3-figure mark. I've been batting well, so if I carry on like this.
The veteran reportedly top scored for India on day 1 of the first test against host Bangladesh, riding on Pant's quick fire 46 and India's unbeaten 82-run knock. The Virat Kohli Stara India side posted 278 to 6 in 90 overs. Kane Williamson has stepped down as New Zealand Test captain, with Tim Southee named as his replacement. Williamson, 32, will remain as captain for the one-day international and 2020 sides. The batter was appointed Test keeper in 2016 when he replaced current England coach Brendan McCullum and has won 22 of his 40 Tests in charge. Williamson led New Zealand to the World Cup final in 2019 and the T20 World Cup final in 2021, which they lost to England and Australia. His side were then crowned World Test champions as they beat India at the against Bills Southampton in 2021. Currently ranked number 6 in the World Test batting rankings, Williamson scored 3,331 runs as captain at an average of 57.43, the highest of any New Zealand captain. Fast bowler Southee, 34 years, has represented the Black Caps on 346 occasions and has led the T20 side 22 times. And that's your sport news on World Now at 4. Back to Uduak Daniel for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Aynan Lubem, for that one on sport. And that's how we call it a close for the World Now at 4. But before we go, a quick look at our top stories. We told you EFCC recovers 30 billion naira from suspended accountant general. We also told you doctors, drugs, even bandages lacking in remote Niger clinics. We brought to the fore the fact that at least 4 people dead after boat capsizes in English Channel. And on sports, Kane Williamson steps down as New Zealand captain. Remember to visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel, all at Hills TV. I am Uduak Daniel. Thank you for watching.